passe l'artiste. Super, encore un but sensationnel. That's a brilliant bit of follow-up play by Mahe. Oh my goodness me, what a shot.
Sagosen setter det hen! Han setter den! De i semifinale igjen!
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Uninformed Handball Hours pre-Women's EHF EURO 2022 Big Prediction Show. It's the three boys here, myself, Chris O'Reilly, Brian Campion. To my right, how are you, Brian?
Not too bad, Chris. How are you doing?
And below us, Alex Kulesh. How you doing, Alex?
Hi, boys. Good to have you on Twitch again. It's been a little while, but we're back up and running.
Yeah, well, you're the master of Twitch these days, my friend. And those of you listening on the podcast, we are live on Twitch at the moment, but it'll be just as good for you listening only. And if you do want to see our beautiful faces, then you can also head over and watch back on Twitch. But those of you with us live right now, you're very, very welcome. We're going to be here for the next 2 hours or so, previewing pretty much everything there is to preview in the preliminary round of the Women's EHF Euro, starting on Friday evening. We've got four very, very knowledgeable guests joining us this evening, covering each of the four groups. We have Camilla Herrem from Norway from Group A. We have Mikaela Mässing for Group B, the Swedish international. We have Siraba Dembele Pavlovic, the former French captain, covering Group C with us. And then Mireya Gonzalez, the Spanish international, covering Group D with us. Also, we want to hear from you over the course of the evening with your predictions, with your questions, your comments, everything you want to ask us or share with us over the next couple of hours. As long as it's nice and friendly, is very, very welcome.
It must be the biggest collection of international goals that we've ever seen on a single Twitch show from our guests. So just between Camilla Herrem and Dembele Pavlovic, we have like close to 2,000 international goals there. So we got some real knowledgeable guests this time around.
A solid 100 or so goals from myself as well.
I'll probably reach for
12
a good
from
50.
Brian. Yes, well, we I think it is a very high class collection of guests who are going to be giving us their insights. Some players who are either taking a break internationally, have just retired internationally, or basically who've all very recently been at the top of women's international handball. So it'll be great to get their perspectives, not just as experts, but as players as well. Part of the prediction part of this evening is in relation to the app that the Home of Handball have released. Again, a prediction competition. Alex is going to be sharing all the info on that. But first, Brian Campion, our geographical expert, is going to give us a lowdown on the three home nations and everything we have to expect from the Women's EHF Euro 2022. Surprise!
Is that what I'm meant to be doing? Wow, what a curveball. Well, Christoph Selwood in the comments here has said it's great to see Yugoslavia hosting the Euro. As I said, Christoph, be careful. We're not getting into politics now tonight. This is all about handball.
That's why I thought it'd be good to have you give the overview of who's going to be hosting this championship.
Yes, who's going to be hosting this championship? In Group A, we go to Ljubljana and we'll have Norway, Hungary, Croatia and Switzerland, the only team making a debut at this EHF Euro. Group B, we stay in Slovenia. We're going to be in Celje, a very strong handball town with a big handball tradition. We're going to have Denmark, Serbia, Sweden and the host Slovenia. In Group C, that's where I'm going to be going tomorrow morning, actually. We're going to see France, the Netherlands, Romania, and North Macedonia, hopefully having a big crowd following them there. And then in Group D, we're in Montenegro with Podgorica, Poland, Montenegro, Germany, and Spain. So there you have it. Happy with that, Chris?
Fine collection.
Yeah,
Brian.
but what about the actual places? Any nice facts or tidbits about the lovely places that the arenas are based and the fans will be visiting?
Jeez, you're really throwing me under the bus here. Have you some tidbits?
You must have been to Celje. You've been to Celje before, right?
We were in Celje
I
last
was in
week.
Celje.
You were in
I was in
Celje
Celje
last week. Then tell the lovely people what Celje is like. I'm interested.
Celje is a very, very beautiful, picturesque town in the hills of Slovenia. No, it really is quite beautiful. And the day we were there, myself and Chris, it was absolutely incredible weather. It was like a second or third summer, and the sunsets there were absolutely incredible. And when we were leaving Celje, if you get up early in the morning, it kind of sits in a lot of valleys, and the fog drops in these valleys very early morning, and you get some very, very nice picturesque scenes there in and around the city. So stunning place, really, Celje. So not to be missed in terms of seeing sights. And Ljubljana, look, Ljubljana, the castle, it's just an incredible city. It's one of my favorite places to go to in Europe. So that Group A and Group B, two tasty spots. And Skopje, yeah, I mean, Skopje is just crazy, isn't it? I mean, we were there for Vardar games over the years, and some of the craziest fans you're ever going to see in your life in Skopje. So it's really, really incredible. And Podgorica, look, they have an incredible following for any national team that comes to town. So you're gonna get some raucous fans there. So it's going to be a quite a wild show also there. Now, are you happy, Alex?
That's wonderful. It's exactly it. Now tell me the cuisine from each of those countries and the number one dish. No. We'll talk handball.
Oh God.
All right. So before we hear more about the predictions and get our first guest on, just a quick heads up to all of you watching at home live. We have a couple of giveaways to do today. We have one signed shirt of a team of your choice, and we have a signed ball from a team of your choice at the Women's EHF Euro 2022. To win, look at the comments, ask Home of Handball. It's all about tokens and entering lotteries and all that stuff. Clemens, who's working behind the scenes, fans of Twitch, fans of the podcast, when we're on Twitch, will remember the name Clemens. We mention it at least 4 times every time. He's working hard behind the scenes, making all of this work, and I'm sure at some point over the next couple hours he'll share details on how to win. You can see in the bottom left-hand corner there, one signed match ball and one signed jersey from a team of your choice. And hopefully he's going to tell us as well when our first guest is ready to come on. But before then, Alex, what's this all about?
We're going to try and make some predictions. And by some predictions, I mean all of the predictions. So we're going to try to predict the exact score of every single match in the preliminary round. And you can join us in doing that. So we've done up our predictions. We're going to go through it one by one. Speak to our guests. We'll show you what we think is going to happen. But you can also join us in the match predictor game throughout the championship. So to do that, you have to download the Home of Handball app. In there is the match predictor game. There you go. There's the app. You go into the competition, which is EHF Euro 2022. You can follow that QR code. I love QR codes. Made a huge comeback. Fair play to QR codes. So follow that, and you'll go straight into the app, and you can join the Home of Handball League. So in that league, currently, you will compete against the 3 of us. We will compete against each other, like we did in the men's Euro last year. So I think who won in the end between us?
Pretty sure that was me.
Do you remember that? I don't remember. Brian, do you remember who won?
I can't remember. It wasn't important. I remember that because I remember we were kind of putting our scores in towards the end. But this year, I'm not messing around this year. You're going to see what my predictions later on in the show. I'm taking no risks. I've taken this very seriously this year because I want to win it this year. Last time I was a bit of a disaster, but this time I'm going for gold.
I think, it's tough. There is a lot to do. There's a lot of rounds, but it's really fun following every match, trying to predict. There's a great feeling, isn't it? Just a great feeling when you have a good match round and you're like, oh my god, I know my shit. Like I know that Croatia are beating everyone. Yes, that's exactly what I predicted. You feel great. You're on top of the league, and then a couple of days later, you're slumping at the bottom and trying to work your way back up. So it's a fun game. So join it on the Home of Handball app. Join the HOH League to compete against us. Put in all of your predictions. You still have loads of time before the first game on Friday. And you can pretty much do it throughout the tournament. Even if you miss maybe a game or a round or a couple of games, don't worry. You can get back into it with a few good results. So download the app, join the league, play against us, and there is an amazing prize that comes with that league. And it's actually an absolute barnstormer of a prize. After the preliminary round, so everyone's gonna play, gonna tot it up. Whoever is winning after the preliminary round is gonna win 2 tickets to the finals weekend of this EHF Euro 2022 in Ljubljana. That is a huge prize. 2 tickets. Bring your friend. Go to Ljubljana. Watch your favorite team, your favorite players compete at the highest level, and all you have to do is join the league, predict some results. You can do that in a couple of minutes, and look, you can get some free tickets to the final. It's a pretty good prize.
Big old promise there from the admin. The winner can join us in the studio in Ljubljana. Very nice.
I'm not sure. Is that a prize?
I think
is
the
that a prize?
also,
I don't know. Live audience member.
They can present some of our traditional, unconventional awards at the end of a tournament. How about that?
Oh, that's right.
They can present the wooden spoon award or the butter knife or the great awards that we give.
Right, I have a question for you boys now. We had a pretty wild Women's Euro last time out, and I think it was fair to say that Croatia stole the headlines there and ruined all of our predictions. What's your gut feeling for this time out? What kind of tournament are we going to see? Well, maybe start with you, Chris.
One with no surprises whatsoever.
I think we say that every time, don't we? We want that to happen.
Yes. That'll be the ultimate surprise, wouldn't it? If we see Norway, Denmark, France, and Netherlands in the semi-finals in a couple of weeks, then it'll be the ultimate not surprise.
But if there was ever a sport that's going to smack you in the face, that's handball, huh?
We say, there could be a surprise, but I can't see too much past the Norway-France final again. But we can talk about that in a bit more detail. I think there, my big surprise team, and you're gonna laugh at me, Brian. You're gonna laugh at me so hard. It's Hungary. It's Hungary.
That is a wild choice. We'll get to that maybe a bit later. But
we can get to that a bit later. But all it takes is Hungary to lose their best player to have their best performance, and I think that's something that might happen. So Naomi Hafra missing for Hungary is actually going to make them better. Is my wild prediction.
Already one of the commenters saying, Hungary is a surprise team. Did you see us play against Germany? Well, I think these pre-championship friendlies always flatter to deceive, much like Hungary, in fact, when they get to major championships. And we'll talk a little bit about those as well with our guests, because there were some interesting results, particularly with the first team that we have in focus, Norway, who managed to kind of get smacked around by Netherlands in the first game last weekend. But one thing I don't think we agreed on, but maybe we should give ourselves a chance to think about it. We said they're making more predictions at the end of the show. Are we going to do the usual predicting the MVP, the top scorer, the best young player, and then the semi-final lineup?
We can leave that until another stage,
right? The pressure now already.
If we're going to predict every single game, the funny thing, I always like when you go through game by game, because it always happens where you look at individual performances or individual matches, and you're kind of just focusing on that one match, and the results are put in for that, and then you kind of put it all together, and you're like, oh shit, Sweden are getting knocked out apparently. I actually thought they were going to win the whole thing, but individual results. So there's this comparison of individual results to what you have in your head as maybe a semi-final lineup that is interesting to see. So I've made my predictions for every game. I have no idea who's going through top of these groups right now.
All right. What were you say? What do you think, Brian? Do you feel like your predictions make sense with what you actually think is going to happen in the championship?
I mean, I think we're always going to see some huge surprises. I don't have a tournament, men or women's, in living memory where I wasn't, or where there weren't some huge surprises. So I don't think this will be any different. But I did play it safe this time, because I remember last time with my predictions, I was throwing some really, really wild ones out there, and it really hurt me then in certain rounds. So I've played a bit safer this time. I haven't put down any draws or any of that stuff, because that stuff really, really hindered me last time. And I was a bit, because in each round of games, you get to put the bonus ball. Is it called bonus ball? Oh,
it is.
Yes, the bonus ball. And I've been a bit more clever this time with my bonus ball than I was last time out. So, what you said there about the friendlies, Chris, it's kind of all we have to go on, isn't it, before these big tournaments? And I think we have to cling on to that, but it can be a bit deceiving, because we've seen it time and time again where a team comes out and is rubbish in the friendlies, and then when the tournament rolls around, they look like a completely different team.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the case with a few of the teams, particularly Norway, who were clearly not the team that we're expecting from them. But that's the thing with international handball. They have all these months off, and then they come together, have a couple of training sessions, and then they play some matches. When we talked to Henny Reistad on the podcast last time, and afterwards we're talking about this new luck team. For them, it was about using those games to get players blooded, get players a bit of a run in. And so, yeah, I think for that result, we'll hear from Camilla, who is much more in tune on this than we are. And I think Camilla Herrem is ready to join us. So we can just go quickly into the group overview for Group A, and I'll do a little introduction. Brian did it already very, very nicely. But yeah, we're heading to Ljubljana, the Slovenian capital, for that. We have Norway, the reigning record champions, with 7 newcomers in their squad this time around. We have Hungary, as we said, always flattering to deceive. It's been 10 years since they last won a medal at the Euro. They won bronze back in 2012. Then we have the Queens of Shock, Croatia, who were the bronze medalists 2 years ago. A few big players missing from them as well, but as we've been taught, we cannot make any predictions against them. And we'll just have to wait and see what comes from Croatia this time. And then Switzerland, who are making their debut at a major championship. Never qualified before. Lots of really young players in that one. It's going to be exciting to see how they get on. I think they have a tough old task in this group. But yeah, that's our Group A overview.
I think we must be ready to go now with the guests.
Yes, we can bring in Camilla.
Yes. Camilla Herrem, 5-time Euro champion, 3-time world champion, and 1-time Olympic gold medalist. Camilla, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Thanks very much for joining us. Now, is this correct, this fact that this is the first time since 2007 that you are not in this Norway team? Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Unbelievable.
Okay, and this... Unbelievable, yes. So this time out, you're going to be not in front of the cameras on the court, but the cameras somewhere else.
Yeah, that's true also. I'm going to join the Viasat group on TV as a guest from the last group game and semifinal and final.
Yeah, what's more nerve-wracking, going up and playing another final over these last 15 years or going up into that studio?
No, I think I would rather, of course, play on the field because that's what I'm used to. But I think also it's a bit more nerve-wracking watching the game than playing the game, because when you're on the field, you can actually do something. But when you're just looking at the game, you can't do anything. So that's going to be the hardest part.
And of course, you know all the Norwegian players really, really well, and personally, and probably good friends of yours. Do you find it hard then to be partial when you have to maybe be a bit critical of them?
No, because my role on the TV, it's gonna be like a guest, and we have two that are the experts. So they will take care of the negativity, and I will be the positive one.
All of the emotion behind it, right?
Yeah.
So when we look at Norway now, so if you want to put your analytical hat on for a minute, if you look at the Norwegian team, obviously coming into here in a very similar position to a lot of tournaments, so they're coming in as hot favourites. But the team itself has a lot of absentees, and with 7 new players, as Chris said at the beginning there. How do you see this squad now, and what stage is it at?
No, but I think like the base that we have with players are very good, and we have many good players that have been on the national team for many years now, who has a big role. And of course, we have new players, but still they have been playing the in Europe. Some of the players and are used to like the tough games, but it's gonna be something else to go into a championship and play. But I think in the end we have a very good team to win the nicest medal, and I think it's good that we have new players that's joining the championship, because that's the best way to learn.
And over your time with the Norwegian team, there must have been a couple of, let's say, generation shifts, or at least new players coming in 7 at a time, while you being a constant. Is there anything that you do, or is that the Norwegian team does to try integrate those new players?
I think it's like some of the players like get a chance to be in the national team when we have the week gathering every month, and then new players will come and join. But I can't remember it was like this before, like 7 who didn't play the championship. But I think that's part of the excitement, because now you can't, like, we have 4 pregnancies, so then you have to take new players in and let them be able to play a championship. But I think like the last generation change we have is when like the 91 models came, Nora and Vicky and Stine and this gang. But now we have probably the oldest national team because we have so many players that've been there for so many years now.
Yeah, well, if
But
you
it does seem
keep winning gold medals, then that 90 and 91 is going to stick around for a little longer.
It's not so old.
No, it's not old.
No, it's not so old. I agree. But we have like, I think because we have always had like a average that was not so high. But I think now the last couple of years our average has been higher than the rest of the national team. So, but I think that's just a good sign that everyone is enjoying playing in the national team and enjoying being there with each other, and you can balance the family life together with the national team. So that only means positive things.
Does it bother you as a Norwegian that the Euro is not closer to Christmas? Because we know how it's such an important Christmas event, the Euro each year, and how this year it's a little bit earlier. So does it maybe feel a bit off for you personally, or is it okay?
Well, since I'm not playing, it's okay. But it's very strange, because this has always been like, for me also when I was young, you will sit and watch with your family with all the Christmas lights around the house, and it's just like this good feeling, like, okay, now it's starting to be Christmas, and now it's like November. There's no Christmas lights everywhere, and so it's a bit strange, but this is how it is this year. But I think December is the best month.
Well, maybe you can still put up the Christmas lights a bit early this year, a couple of weeks early, still make it feel like a tradition.
Yeah, but remember, I haven't like decorated my house for Christmas since like 2008. So this will be my first time that I will actually like decorate my house and buy Christmas gift early, and just enjoying the holiday season. So I'm looking forward to it.
And we were just talking there before you came on about how in the lead up to these tournaments, we've very kind of little information to go off in terms of where teams are and where they stand. And all we have to go off normally are some friendlies beforehand. Maybe you can settle this debate for us. Are we a bit crazy to read too much into these friendly games? Because often coaches are trying things and players are sometimes playing different positions and trying new concepts or whatever it might be. So are they a bit misleading, these friendlies?
I think sometimes they are, but still, it's very close to the championship that you want to give the trust to the people that will play a lot. But like for Norway's case, we had a lot of exchanges in the games, and everyone were able to try. So that was it was good for us, but also I think we shouldn't leave too much in it.
How about that opening loss last Thursday against the Netherlands? That seemed a lot heavier than usual, and it seemed like a lot of the talk around it was that they're very far from where they're supposed to be. Is that maybe a good thing to get that out of the way a week and a bit before the championship, or is it maybe a little bit worrying?
But I think like the game itself, it wasn't such a beautiful game to watch from either side. But I feel like Netherlands was playing good, and they had a lot of saves this game, and we were struggling a bit with our defense and saves. So the game was turned around a bit. But I think the Netherlands played good, and we were trying out. Almost I think every player were able to play this game. So but I think these games are just like a feeling and trying to be in the game, and like everyone should try and be there. But like when it comes to Friday, and then you can see how it really is.
Well, it's been really great chatting to you. And before we let you go, I just want to get, since this show is all about predictions, we want to get your predictions for gold, silver, and bronze, and maybe let's say top scorer or MVP. You can pick one of those.
All right. Of course, I will say Norway at the top place, and
That's a
I
given.
will.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think from it would be fun to see Norway versus Denmark in the final. I had to say it, and then of course we will win. But I think I think Denmark has a good team when they hit their strongest. So and also France and Spain are good. But I will just say Norway, Denmark, and Spain.
Ooh, nice. And then for MVP, maybe, do you think it might be Henny Reichstadt's year, or who do you think is
Yes.
in good form at the moment? I'm answering my own question there.
Yeah. No, but for sure I would say Henny. But because she's such a good player, and I think she is a complete player with everything in her. It's beautiful to watch her play, and yeah, I for sure think she will. She can both take the top scorer and the MVP, but you can't take both probably. But MVP, I for sure.
Lovely. Well, thank you very much. We hope to see you a bit behind the camera this Euro and then back on the court sooner rather than later. Thanks very much for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Camilla. No surprises there in Camilla's guesses. As I predicted, this is going to be the championship of no surprises, which is not exactly probably the tagline that the EHF want to be going for this time.
But I think of all the groups, this is Group A has to be the non-surprise group, right?
Croatia
we have Croatia in there, but
I don't know.
But from a pure kind of preliminary round perspective of who's going to get through this group, it's looking clear enough from my perspective. Anyway, Norway to just romp through the group.
Did you not say at the top of the show that Hungary are going to win gold? No, or what did you say?
Oh yeah, they're gonna win gold, but they're gonna get romped by Norway in the preliminary round, and then
right,
turn
it's
it
going to
on.
be okay.
It's going to be a comeback story. It's going to be everyone, just when everyone is talking about, oh, classic Hungary, they're going to drop it again. They might even be losing at halftime to Switzerland at one stage, we can get to that level, and then it's going to be a huge turnaround.
Shall we look at we look at the at our own predictions in a moment? Oh, it's a nice graphic about Norway. 8 times winners. That's disgusting, isn't it? I think it's only 2 times. It's only 2 times they haven't been medalists at this championship in the Euro. It is it's really remarkable, and it says a lot that Camilla has been there with part of the team since 2008 and missing her first championship. We talked a little bit more about that wing position last time with the Henny Rystad podcast, so we don't have to go into it too much. But even with Camilla and Sana missing on the left wing, they're very well covered. Maybe that line position could be a worrying thing for them, but probably not something to worry about for them in the preliminary round. If Clements is ready to throw up the predictions from the three of us, we haven't seen each other's predictions. So
I haven't even really seen my own, so...
Okay. Sorry, Clements had the wrong group up there.
This sort of mean I'm telling you right now that I'm predicting Hungary to do well, but my match predictions could have just ended up with Hungary leaving the preliminary round. So let's check it out.
It's pretty straightforward in the preliminary round. You just need to be better than one team, and then you make it into the main round. It's not rocket science at this point. It's only when we get into the main round when it becomes really tricky. But with
should we expect?
Switzerland, here we go.
Should we expect anything from Switzerland? Do any of us have Switzerland picking up a point?
Let's have a look here. No.
I don't think so, no. No.
Not even close.
Well, all of us have that. So the Croatia-Switzerland game, the final group game, we have as fairly close. I have a 4-goal win for Croatia. Brian has a 2-goal win. Alex with a 3-goal win. But yeah, besides that, I have to say, Alex, that's very disrespectful to Croatia, that opening game against Norway, 36-23.
I think Norway just I like Croatia, and even there I have them drawing against Hungary, my big favourites, but they just can't play against Norway. They just they keep getting destroyed by them. I think that's going to happen again.
Ryan, what do you think?
It's a bad stylistic matchup.
What's popping out to me here? I think we've all played it very safe in this group, and Alex forgot to put on his bonus ball, so we're already winning. One of us,
and Chris put 2 bonus balls. That's
hey, that's illegal.
Well, we have 5 of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've only put 4 down. I'm already losing,
guys.
Oh no,
guys.
Yeah, that's how confident I am. I don't even need bonus balls to beat you boys.
There you go. Bonus balls, for those of you who don't have any idea what that is, that gives you extra points. It's like a multiplier. If you're very confident about a result, as I appear to be with Switzerland not winning a game in the group, then you can put your bonus balls on it. And Brian has played it safe there with a Norway victory over Switzerland being a bonus ball. Something I will say about Switzerland, like they are qualified for the first time. I think they have 5 teenagers in the team. Very, very young team. A couple of 17-year-olds, 18, 19, very much building for the future. And Martin Albertsen, who's the coach, Danish coach, very good on Instagram. He's always been sharing his work with the youth teams as well. He seems to have done a bit of everything with Swiss handball since taking over. So I think it's a great opportunity for them. They're co-hosting the Euro in 2 years' time, so this is a chance for them to build. But really, it's a tough group for them to try and get out of. It looks like we're seeing that final game against Croatia as one that'll be their best chance, at least. All pretty close though on Hungary against Norway at the end.
I also think that Croatia-Hungary game, Chris, you're the only one who has stuck to our lessons learned from 2020 and Croatia actually surprising and winning. So you have them beating Hungary 26-24.
Mm-hmm.
I've half stuck to my rule by having a draw 23-23 between Croatia and Hungary, and Brian is just falling into the Hungarian trap again and predicting a 29-28 win for Hungary. Still don't trust Croatia, Brian?
That was one game I changed the score 4 times before I finally I went over and back 29-28 either side, and I just settled on that then. So that was a very, very hard one to call. Look, they're two entities you just don't know what's going to happen with. Croatia looked good in their friendlies that they had so far. Hungary did and did not. So it's really, really hard to know what kind of side we're going to see when Hungary roll out. I mean, Hungary missing half and missing Bianca Biro as well, I think, is a huge loss in the goal. I think it's not fully sure if she's going to play or not, but at the moment she's down. There's a question mark over her name, and she's always one that they can rely on. So that's a big loss for them. So yeah, Hungary, Croatia, very, very hard to call.
I think we've got our next guest ready to go, Mikaela Mässing. So Alex, introduce us to Group B.
Let me introduce you to Group B, which will take place in Celje, and we're talking about with Vid Kavtichnik about the crowd at Celje yesterday, and he just said it's going to be magical. So I'm pretty excited for that. I'm very jealous, Chris, that you're going to be there for these games, where Slovenia will be the home nation, playing in their kind of hub of handball. Celje, and one of the world's big talent factories. Against them, there's going to be a Scandinavian derby in Denmark and Sweden, and Serbia completing the quartet there. So looks like to be quite a tight group from my perspective. Slovenia haven't made it out of the main round since 2004. So they've had some pretty poor results in the Euros 16, 13, 14, 16. So they're going to be hoping for a big result, probably against Serbia, to get them through. And they're going to rely on that home crowd. Interesting point here. It's really going to come. The Slovenia-Serbia game is the last game of the group, and the coach for Serbia is Uroš Bregar, who was the Slovenian coach for 6 years previously. So it's this big showdown of the coach who you could say brought Slovenia to where they are today, coming up, and a Serbia team which is they've lost a few big stars. Andrej Lekic, Katarina Krepec-Slezak, Dragana Cvijic, all retiring. So it's a new look Serbia team. It's going to be exciting. I would say two levels to this group, but I think anything can happen as well.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this group, and that leads us nicely to our next guest, Swedish international who's had spells in Germany, in Romania, most recently in Copenhagen, in Denmark, taking a career break at the moment due to an issue that I know all too well, knee surgeries and knee problems, but still very much involved in handball, working as a player development officer for Alingsås in Sweden, and is also SVT's expert as well for their matches they played over the last few months, both in the men's and women's competition. And if Clemens is ready to bring Mikaela on, there she is. Mikaela Mässing, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Really nice to have you on. As we mentioned, you're taking an active career break at the moment, but how is that going for you? And how are the knees?
The knees is not that good, unfortunately, but I can play paddle, so that's good. I'm back. No, but for handball, it's no good with the knees. So I'm trying to work like normal people do, and it's hard to work, but it's fun as well.
Well, it's nice to have you here with us, and you give us a very nice perspective on the Swedish team heading into this championship. You were working at their last couple of games, the preparation matches they had, and first of all, what are your what's your perspective on those games against Czech Republic, and what did you notice about the team?
Yeah, I think it's hard to talk about the games because the first one was crazy. Sweden won like really big, and if you look at that game, you can say that Sweden is it's really good going into the Europeans. So yeah, but the other game was really bad. So I don't know what to say about the games. It's very hard to predict how it's going to go in the championship. So
We talked a little bit with Camilla Herrem about that in the Norwegian team beforehand, players wise, and bringing the squad together. How do you feel it looked? Like there's some players coming into the squad for the first time, a little bit of competition for players as well, and it seemed like there was quite a bit of rotation in the squad as well. So did anyone really stand out for you over those couple of games?
not really. I would say like the ones who everyone knows is good, like Jamina, Hagman, and all of those names were playing good. And behind it was nothing special, I think. But I think that Sweden has to play with more distance shooting. Is that what you're saying in English? I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah, and they have good players for that as well. So I think that would be the key for Sweden to go far in the European.
And do you think there's maybe a bit more pressure on a player like Amina Roberts, who has kind of become the leader of the team, kind of the real star of the team over the last couple of years? And I don't know, over the last couple of tournaments, it's almost been a bit of a surprise to everyone how good she is, but now everyone kind of expects it from her. Do you think there's a pressure on her to be the star for Sweden?
Yeah, of course, and she's the captain now as well. So it's gonna be a lot of pressure on her. But I think she, as a person, is like really relaxed, and she's always very cool. I think like she's not playing with pressure. So I think if someone can handle it, it's her. But of course, the team knows she's the best player for Sweden, so they're gonna be hard on her. So it's very important that the other players in Sweden are taking their space as well, because they're going to be space for them when Jamina is playing.
Particularly the combination with the line players is going to be really important there. It seems like Sweden has established itself as the best line combination in the last couple of years, and it seems like they're in good form again.
With you keeping such a close eye on the team, maybe you could give us a bit of insight there. We were talking about it before you came on, how this Euro feels like we're going to see a lot of new names coming into each team. And it feels a bit like of a generational change over the whole Euro. Maybe Sweden were hit a bit less by injuries than other teams, but I'm sure maybe you could point some names out to us of players we could look out for in this Swedish team, maybe some young up-and-coming names.
Yeah, I think we have two really good like youngsters, or what you can call them, in Tyra Axnér, the left back, the daughter of the coach, and also a right back named Nina Kopang. I don't know if you know about her, but she is a name for the future for sure. I don't know how much she's going to play in this championship, but she's going to be good for Sweden for a long time. I think she is. I think she's complete as a handball player. She can do anything. She's really, really strong. So I hope that she is going to play this championship as well. I think she's ready for it.
Tyra Axnér is a name that I've been hearing quite a bit over the last couple of years, even before the last championship. As you mentioned, it's the coach's daughter, which I think adds another bit of I don't know if it's pressure, but a bit of scrutiny onto her as well. But what do you think makes her such an exciting player?
She's bringing something special to the Swedish team. I think she is a different kind of player, like not like the other ones. She has a really good distance shooting, and she's very interesting for the future, of course. I don't know if she's ready yet to take on this big role, as the distance shooter for Sweden, but she's very much a name for the future. And I think she knows she's there for shooting. Like she has a very, she knows she's there to shoot. So if she does that, she's going to play, even though it's maybe not goal every time.
It's a nice, simple approach. Just give me the ball, and when you're in position, shoot. That's nice for a young player to have, right?
It was the same for me. So if I was shooting, I was playing. Maybe it's not goal every time, but sometimes.
And for this Swedish team, they've been knocking on the door at the championships over the last few years. They were in the quarterfinals of the last 2 World Championships. They were 4th place in the last Olympics. So they've been there or thereabouts. What do you think they need to achieve during a championship? You've been a part of the team as well. Of course, there's fine margins between being 5th and maybe breaking into a semi-final. But what do you think really needs to go in Sweden's favour? What needs to click for them to have a chance of getting a medal this time around?
I think that Sweden needs to have more players who's doing is good. Like Jamina is good, Hagman is good, everyone knows it, but we need more players to play good. Like when they're not playing good, we need another line who can play as good as the first line, if you know what I'm saying. I think we have a lot of good players, but then they need to find the role in the team. I don't know how to describe it better, but you understand what I mean?
We understand what you mean. Yeah, no, that seems fair. We'll leave you with one last question, which is a theme throughout the whole evening, because this is a prediction show, and we're going to ask you to give us some predictions for the championship as well. And you can either put Sweden in this group of 3 medalists if you want. If not, maybe you can tell us where Sweden are going to finish. But gold, silver, bronze, and a player that you think from the whole championship is really going to stand out or take us, maybe not by surprise, but really going to impress at this championship.
Okay, we start with the gold medal. I think it's France who's going to take it. Actually, I'm going against Herrem. And I think Norway is going to take the silver medal this time. And I think Netherlands is going to take the bronze.
Okay, then where's Sweden?
Yeah, I see it now. Maybe
consolation.
Sweden is not taking a medal. I don't think so. They're going to have it's going to be hard. But who knows? Maybe. I hope. And for the player, I'm going to say the same as Camilla did. That's boring, but I think so. I think it's Henny Reistad. I don't know how to say it in English, but yeah.
She's phenomenal. Okay, that's 2 out of 2 for Henny Reistad.
So good it's boring. But I don't think her style of play is boring at all.
It's not even funny for the other players. It's not even funny.
Lovely. Mikaela, thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the championship as well, and see you for a game of paddle, hopefully sometime soon. Yeah,
for sure. I'll be up for it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That was Mikaela Mässing. 2 out of 2 for Henny Reistad as MVP. That's big. Those of you watching at home, I think it's time for you to start giving the comments as well who you think your MVP is going to be. It's making my prediction at the end seem a bit boring. I'm not to give too much away, but that's what I'm saying is this whole championship is about. Clemens has some graphics to show us as well. And here we have Denmark, who are the other big Scandinavian team. Alex, you mentioned them in your intro to the group. Brian, you spent a fine 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks in Denmark 2 years ago at the European Championship. So I know it's a team that's close to your heart. What do you make of them at this championship?
Well, my memories of the hotel in Denmark last time out are beautiful. Didn't leave it for almost 3 weeks. No, but seriously, this Danish team, it's a very interesting one. It's very hard to know because I think in preparation for this, they lost to both the Netherlands and Norway. So it's tricky to say where they are at the moment, but they do have a huge amount of quality. And when you have a player like Sandra Toft in goal, I mean, she is arguably the best keeper in the world, and she's won which every single Euro she never fails to impress. So you're going to have her to rely on, and so yeah, I think they could do very well, and I hope their form picks up from how they were playing in the friendly matches. But they're going to be thereabouts. I say they're top. They're almost guaranteed top four.
Yeah, I think Denmark are a really interesting team. They've been progressing a lot under Jesper Jensen, and they're this. We talked about it in the previous championships, how they don't necessarily have standout players. Of course, their goalkeepers are incredible. That's for sure. But even there, they have two of them who are incredible. So it's not like they have one or two players standing out in positions, and it's this real team. So that's why I feel like out of all the teams, I expect them to continue improving and be on the same trajectory, because they're just moving together as one unit. And they, in 2020, they got that fourth place, which was a bit unlucky. Then they got over a hurdle, getting a bronze medal in the World Championship in 2021. I think it's a big step to finally get on that podium for Denmark. And who's to say that they can't make another step and this time make it to the final? I think there's a real belief in this team in the country. So being in Denmark, there's a belief in Jesper Jensen and what he's doing. So I have pretty high hopes for Denmark.
I'm worried about the lack of Lena Haugstad, though, who, for me, was their best player at the championship.
She's absolutely your favorite player. I think every time we've spoken Danish women's team, you've managed to bring up Lena Haugstad in one way or the other.
But she's ridiculous. She was an amazing defender at the World Championship and just had this really unique and difficult counter-attacking ability. So that's a big miss for them in the center of the defense. But yes, I do believe that they'll go deep into this competition. And Slovenia, how deep will they go? You mentioned it there, Alex, that they may have a bit of a do or die game against Serbia, but a home nation like this, they're expecting to go all the way. They have a player who at different points over the last 5 years has been the best player in the world. They have some decent players overall. Are we completely disregarding the home nation boost here for a team like this?
Yeah, we're not disregarding it and saying that they'll make it to the main round for the first time since 2004, and that's enough of a home nation boost from 16th place in the last championship.
But they are so much better than not making the main round in 18 years. I really don't understand with Slovenia. They're like, over the last few championships, they've always been a team to, they would get knocked out, but on their way, they'll have beaten Norway or Russia or the Netherlands. We have a comment there: the best Slovenian result ever incoming. Trust me. Well, I hope you're right.
That's not even that much of a statement, though. That they have to finish 8th place to get the best Slovenian result. So I agree that they might do it.
Brian, you've been to Crim games. They've got a nice Crim contingent here. Give me something to believe in with this host nation.
Oh, I don't know, Chris. I'm not sure myself. I would love to think so, because I would love. It's always great when the hosts do well in the tournament. But the biggest problem, I think, with Slovenia is Anna Gross, and it's not the problem she is, but it's just every time you mention Slovenia. No, wait, hold on a second before you make this. Isn't a hot take. Is that all that everyone talks about Slovenia is Anna Gross, and it just shows you how she is just head and shoulders above everyone else in the team, and it's so clear in that regard. And I think for them to do well, they're going to need some of those secondary players to really, really ramp up their game and start performing, because they lost obviously twice to Croatia in preparation for this. Dragan Adžić. Oh God, tongue twister. Someone finish it for me. Dragan
Adžić.
There we go. Said he wasn't actually all disappointed with how they played, but I mean, yeah, I think they're going to need players maybe like Stanko to step up, or Elizabeth Imorgi. Also, she's someone who they need. I've mispronounced that, haven't I? Chris is smiling.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I've never actually heard someone say that name out loud.
I just love how you kind of ducked out of the end of the pronunciation, like Omoregi. I mean, Elizabeth Omoregi. Interestingly enough, I think she's like half Greek, half Bulgarian, but played long enough in Slovenia and took Slovenian citizenship. But that is a good backcourt though, with Stanko, Omoregi, and Gross. I mean, that if they're all fit, they're all firing, they could match anyone.
Who comes in next though? That's my big question.
Not important.
Doesn't matter. But like, even the fact that they have Omoregi coming in is a big change. So she only joined in 2020, joined Slovenia's squad in 2020, and now they have a complete backcourt. With Stanko, Omoregi, and Anna Gross instead of just Anna Gross a few years back and some filler. So now that we're talking about the team with those players, it seems like there's a bit more completion to this team, and there's a bit of drive. And there's a comment there to give the full background. So Maregi was born in Athens, who had a Nigerian father and a Bulgarian mother, and played in Italy for a while, I believe, but now she is Slovenian, having been there for enough time to get the citizenship. So thank you for that, Radu Suits. It's a real mix for Omoregi, but I think she could be a key player.
And also Dragan Adzic in there. He masterminded some great times for Montenegro. They're gonna make the most of this. I feel it. Yeah, well, we'll see, won't we? We'll see. They're gonna face off against Serbia, and we also had a comment earlier, which is really nice, that Uroš Bregar, the Serbian coach, will be facing off against his wife, Tamara Mavsar, who's one of the Slovenian left wings. They'll be opponents in which,
it's incredible.
Considering there's a main round spot on the line, one of them will be going home, and after this game, so no love lost there.
Do you wish each other luck before the game, or what do you do?
I don't know. We'll have to keep an eye on that one. That's for sure. Definitely keep an eye on what's happening pre-match and during the match.
I'd love to be there to just
interact with the wings. Yeah, just to keep a camera on them for the whole time to see the interaction when she's on the wing nearest to the sideline. Serbia, 9-time Euro participants. They had their best result 10 years ago when they were at home, finishing in 4th place. They've looked promising the last couple of championships, but as you guys mentioned before, there's a lot of players who've retired from the national team, not looking quite as strong as they did before. I think having Uroš Bregar there as coach is maybe a bit of an advantage because he knows those Slovenian players so well. Yeah, hard to know what to expect from them. I think they're going to be a bit of a random rocket of a team. They might end up getting a draw against Sweden or Denmark, but then losing against Slovenia. And we see what we predicted.
They don't even have a heart of the team, according to this graphic. So,
oh my goodness,
they have to figure out their new heart. Let's say they've lost some big organs going into this tournament. So they need to find their heart, their brain, and what was the other thing in Wizard of Oz? Their courage.
Courage, yeah. They have plenty of courage, that's for sure. So, Group B predictions. Clemens, give us it. What have we got here? Bonus ball in there for Brian, saying that it's going to be a heavy victory for Denmark over Slovenia.
And for you eagle eye people at home, you would have realised that in our push on social media at Handball Hour, I said that Slovenia were going to win. So since then, I've changed my mind rapidly.
Yeah. A 10-goal,
so much so
10-goal turnaround. Also, I feel like, opening game of the championship, home team against a slightly better team in Denmark. it has draw written all over it, and I know we should have learned our lesson and not gone for draws anymore because it's the least likely thing to happen. So for predictions, it's not good. But I've got a couple of draws in the preliminary round, and this is one of them: Denmark against Slovenia.
No, I think Slovenia maybe have 40 minutes of very good handball in them in that open game, but then everyone can play well for 40 minutes, and I think then the Danish bench will just be so superior, I'd imagine, so that they'll really kick on
but
then.
40 minutes with a full arena on the first game of a home championship, that stretches out to 60. That stretches out to 80.
I'm not buying
But still
it.
not enough for me where I have Denmark actually beating them by 1 goal.
It looks like every other game. So as the first and the last game, we have disagreements. Every other game, we have agreed to one extent or another on the result. So that's
I find it really
right.
interesting.
Am I right there?
The Denmark-Serbia game, all of us have a really tight game for some reason. I don't know. On paper, that's probably not going to not what you'd expect, but all of us seem to think that Denmark are actually going to struggle in this group.
I never see Serbia lose a game by many. It's always a scrap. They're gonna make everyone scrap for victory.
In my head, I was just seeing Serbia slowing that game down so much and just making an absolute scrap out of it. And yeah, as Chris said, there's never an easy match against Serbia. When they come to the Euro, they really are wearing the badge of honor. So I could just see them just dragging that game down to a really, really slow pace and beating lumps out of Denmark.
Then where we don't agree is the final game, the Scandinavian Derby, Denmark against Sweden. What looks like it could be for the top spot and a couple of extra points in the main round. I've gone for a 1-goal victory for Sweden. Ryan's gone for a 2-goal victory for Denmark. And Alex has gone for a 5-goal victory for Sweden over his adopted homeland. Alex, explain yourself.
I really trust Jamina Roberts. That's it. I like she is an absolute star, and she's just shown to be a huge star. And that's what I was asking with Mikaela as well. Is she ready to be the absolute leader of this team, to actually be the player that takes them over next level? And I think that Mikaela said that she has the temperament to have no problem with being the star. And I don't know why I have Denmark performing so poorly in the preliminary round.
So insulting. But Anonymous Zebra saying here, Chris only one taking risk on Denmark Slovenia. Look, I said it to you last time out. I was taking so many risks. I ended up in last place and very far behind everyone else because I was taking all these hipster picks. So there's nothing hipster about me this time out, I'll tell you that. So I am going as safe as anything this time out. So yeah, Anonymous Zebra, you feel free to take all the risks you want on the Home of Handball app, but not this boy.
Shall we take a little break before we go into Group C? I think we're running, just about behind time, as we expected. So maybe we can take a little break if Clements is ready for some mid-show entertainment, and we'll be back with Group C and D.
And there you have it. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. A lovely look back at the last Euro, when we were all living in a bubble. Good memories from that, boys?
Yeah, I was sitting where I am right now for that whole championship. And I think Alex can say the same.
I was the same, and I enjoyed it. It was just, remember how happy we were that it was happening. That was it was still happening. We were able to watch live sport, and some of us weren't trapped in a hotel room for 2 weeks, so it was okay.
So we're going to start now looking slowly at Group C while we wait for our guest to join. This is going to be the group I'm going to in Skopje, and it's going to be France, Netherlands, Romania, and North Macedonia. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like this one could be a really, really wild one.
Why is that, Brian?
You have France in there, and I think France. A lot of people are tipping France to do very, very well this time. They're runners up in the Euro. They're runners up in the world. They're Olympic champions. They're really knocking on this Euro door, and they really want it. And then the Netherlands have looked very good in preparation for this, even despite not having the likes of Lois Abing or Tess Vester and Danny Snelder, who are big losses for them. But they do have a lot of young talent coming through. Very much like Norway do. When someone seems to go missing, they seem to have this conveyor belt of new players that can just step in. The Dutch seem to be blessed with that same gift. And then you have Romania. Look, Romania, they are missing Christina Laszlo, who's going to be a big loss for them, and they do in goal. But they still have the queen of handball, Christina Niagu, who is going to is always there to light up the court each Euro, and has one of the best followings in handball. So they're always going to be fighting for every single game. And North Macedonia, they're going to have the home crowd support. And as I said at the top of the hour, handball in Macedonia really is different gravy to everywhere else. And if you've never been to a handball game in Macedonia, you should really check it out. And this would be a very good opportunity to go do that.
We have a special guest in Siraba Dembele Pavlovic, the former France captain. She has also won a world championship. She's got a gold medal for a European championship, plenty of medals across her lucrative career with France. 291 games and 848 goals. So she knows how to win. So we'll figure out if this French team can do it. So welcome, Siraba.
Thank you.
Hey, Siraba.
Thanks for joining us. And as Chris mentioned, you have a special connection to this group. So of course you were a player for France. You're a former player for Vardar in Macedonia, and of course you're a current player for CSM in Bucharest. So you have a bit of a special connection to each team. What's your view on them?
They are my friends. I can just tell this. It's I have been there so many years, and I can say that the connection. It's like I consider French national team the girl like my friend, like some like my sister. It's a really special connection.
And what memories do you have of maybe playing in Macedonia for Vardar? Because that's where this group will be based. So what memories do you have from that kind of amazing time for that women's team in Vardar?
Well, it was really amazing. My what I remember from there, it's really the fans. Every time when we were playing in the Jan Sandensky Hall, it was wow, a fire. And this for me, it was a new experience for me. I was a little bit young, in my first outside experience, outside France experience, and this really impressed me. And when we were playing Champions League there, it was wow. This is I never see this in my life. Really, the atmosphere in the hall, I never see this in my life.
Yeah, I think we can all expect a pretty fire atmosphere there again. But maybe focusing a little bit on this French team, and one kind of position that stood out to me, kind of looking at the team, is the goalkeeper position. Because of course Leno is no longer with the team, and Laura Glauser will be missing for the tournament, which means that a position that's usually so strong for France maybe is looking a bit shaky. What is your view on that? Who is going to be the first goalkeeper?
Yeah, of course, Cleo will be the first goalkeeper and the most experienced, and I think Cleo also have proved a lot in the international world handball. And of course, it's a little bit new for French national team because usually they go with two really strong goalkeeper, and now two new goalkeeper are there. They don't have experience in this kind of level. So it's a little bit like we don't know what will happen in this position, but I stay confident. It's some young, really interesting goalkeeper, and they can be a surprise.
It's a really strong French squad. Besides that, and pretty much everywhere in the team, it's players that we've seen pick up championships in the last couple of years, and players who, I mean, it seems like a new generation is coming through as well. And I just wonder, do you think that this is already kind of building towards
Yeah.
the next Olympics as well?
Yeah, it's of course it's. I think they are working on the Olympic goal. There is a new generation, a new young girl. But I think there is still a base like Grace, like Estelle, like Laura Flip, and Fopa also. There is still some strong base, which make me think that this team is still on level, and maybe Olivier integrates some new young player to put a little bit fresh, fresh power, this little bit of younger craziness to give us something more, and of course to work for the future.
How was it for you then dealing with having to watch the French national team play? Was it difficult in the beginning, or how have you dealt with that? And how is it now going into this tournament?
I can say, to be honest, for me, just the Olympic game was difficult for me to look because I wasn't there because of my injury, and this wasn't my decision. So this was a little bit difficult for me. After it was my choice. I have different life with my son, and now it was good for me to watch the team in my living room and enjoy to see my friend performing, and of course support them.
We have to mention maybe the big elephant in the room, and that is France losing 2 finals in a row to Norway. So that's how do you
Yeah.
feel that the French team is going to be thinking about this tournament? Will they have their minds on Norway, or will it be a kind of a different approach?
No, because I think the French national team mentality is really to go step by step in the competition, because they know that European Championship is a really hard competition. Now handball shows that every team can beat every team, so you need really to stay focused in every step from the first game, and they cannot think about I don't know, the final, or I don't know what. I think they just think about the first game, and after the second, the third, and they will see after.
It's going to be a really interesting tournament, and in the group, I think the big game is going to
Yeah.
be against the Netherlands. How do you think
Yeah.
that will go? That will be a real hard test for them at the start.
Yes, I think it will be a really tough game for them, because I have seen Netherlands play now some friendly game this last week, and they really impress me. They really impress me. I feel like they are back on the shape. They are back on the game. They can be one of the surprise of this European Championship, and it will be a very good test for French team against Netherlands.
We had a
I think
question here on the chat. What do you think about the left wings? Your position with Valentini and La Source had an amazing year so far. Do you think that they together will be enough for this French team? Because it's a player, or it's a position which over the years France have always been so strong on, and also with the amazing defense that France always play, counter-attacking being so important. Or is Valentini and La Source the right pairing for France this year?
Yes, I think the disposition, it's one of the key of the winning of French national team. They have shown this last year a very good staff, and I think the team can count on them. They have a very good efficient in their shoot, and this is the most important for the wing, and that's why I think really that they are the key player of one of the key player of French national team.
I think we couldn't let you go without asking about one of your teammates who's on the Romanian team, one of the biggest stars in handball history over the last 10 years or so. Cristina Neagu is back with Romania this year. Whenever we talk about Romania, whenever we talk about CSM Bucharesti, it's always Neagu. How do you feel she is at the moment? What kind of shape do you feel she's in? And do you think that she'll be able to drag this Romanian team far into the championship?
Christina, I was really impressed about her. Their mindset. I think she have her national team in the heart. And doesn't matter. She will make everything to put up her team. She will make everything to bring her team as far as possible. And she's really a champion. I can say just this: she's a champion. She just when she's on the court, she doesn't think. She just want to kill. She just want to win, and this is impressive about her.
Well, it's been lovely talking to you, and I'm sorry we have to do this to you, but we do this to all of our guests today. This is a prediction show, so we're going to ask you for your Euro predictions. We want gold medal, silver medal, bronze medal, and
Oula,
MVP of the tournament.
oula la la la, this is hard.
Yeah, no easy questions here.
Ouais. Alors, déjà, first of all, I will name the teams that I think are on the top 5 for me, because
Okay.
and first of all, Denmark, because I think Denmark are really progressing this last year, and in continuity, if they are in their continuity, they should go in semi-final. Of course, Norway. I don't see Norway go under 5. France, because they are a fighter. Netherlands, because they really surprise me. And number 5, I hesitate between Slovenia and Germany, because Slovenia is home, and when you are home, you have something special, something who bring you. This brings something special, and they can really, I think, reach something with this. And Germany also, because I think they have a really good player, and they can make something. So this 5. So first 2, 3, I don't know. It's hard. It's really hard. Sorry. It's yeah. It's hard. Huh?
It is very hard. Yeah.
In the final,
We loads of time, though. We loads of time.
if I look, it's so complicated. Yes, it's hard because the first 4. The first 4, I will say Denmark, Norway, France, and Netherlands. The first 4.
Okay.
And after they in semi-final. After, I don't know. A lot of things can happen. Really sorry,
Okay.
I cannot say.
No, it's
I
okay.
don't know.
It's okay. So
Really, because you don't know what can happen.
what about?
You don't know what can happen. But if I
Oh
bet
yes.
for the semi-final, this 4 team.
All right. And what do you think then about MVP? Maybe that's something you could pick out a bit easier. A player that you think could really shine.
But now, one girl who is really in a really good shape and outstanding for me, it's Reichstadt. For me, Reichstadt, it's really wow. She's really impressive, really, really impressive. So if she's in her shape, I think she can be a MVP.
You, Camilla Herrem, and Mikaela Mässing have all said Henny Reistad as the MVP. So you're in good company. You all believe in
Yes.
Henny for this championship. Lovely. And
Yes.
Siraba, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the championship from home, and thank you so much for sharing your
Yes,
expertise.
my pleasure.
Thank you so much. That was Siraba. Taking a leaf from the Brian Campion school of predictions, I think it's fair to say.
That's a niche reference. You might need to explain that one.
Yeah, so whenever we ask Brian a question to name specific things, he ends up going through a list of every possibility. And I think that's what we got there for Siraba with her top 6 in the end. Top 6 with Slovenia and Germany. But at least very decisive on the MVP, which is a continuing trend. That's 3 out of 3. We'll see if our fourth guest later will do the same. But yeah, very interesting stuff there from Siraba, and she believes her team will get to the semi-final at least. But getting through there, it could be a tricky group phase. She said she saw Netherlands play as well, and I mean, you mentioned all the players that are missing. before we went there, but still have a very strong squad. Looking at France, though, first, 2018 champions. We're there in Paris 4 years ago, an amazing occasion. You mentioned the 2 losses to Norway, though. You have to stick that one in, Alex. Do you feel like that is preying on them?
It must be. You have these. They're really the titans of women's handball at the moment, and especially their World Championship loss, where France were 4 goals up at half time, and Norway were able to make that big comeback. That's you don't forget a game like that. No matter what, no matter what the players say, it's like, oh, we take it game by game. We're going to think about our game against North Macedonia and then think about the next one. They're going to be planning for Norway, and it's exciting, I think, to see if they will match up in the final again. I'd watch the trilogy, the third final in a row between those 2 teams. I'd watch a game earlier as well. It's going to be good.
Yeah, and one of your favorite players there in the mix, Alex Grassadi. I think you have waxed lyrical over the years about how good she is and how she can conduct that orchestra there. I think, yeah, as you said, Chris, even with the likes of Glazor, No Candy, Pinot, Niakate out, France just have so many options to call upon and so many good young options as well. And I think I don't know, I mean, this might be a bit controversial now, but I'd say they probably are favourites at the moment, even with all the changes that have come into the Norway team. I don't know, where do you stand on that, on the favourites role? Sorry, stressed about that.
Maybe it's the Netherlands. Maybe it's the Netherlands.
Maybe it is the Netherlands.
Who seem to be impressing everyone.
They were really impressive, though, in that victory over Norway. But again, it's a team missing a bunch of players, but they have a new coach in as well. Per Johannesson is leading the way now. Handball's favourite freelance coach. He's settled with the Netherlands at the moment, and he seems to have instilled something a bit different in them in comparison to Emmanuel Mayonnaud, who himself did an amazing job with the team. But yeah, they just have solid players all over. It's kind of the generational shift is maybe done now for Netherlands. The last couple of championships, even the World Championship they won, it was like, oh, there's a bit of a generational shift going on here. It seems like the players like Dione House here has settled into being a starting player for them. Also, Bo van Vetering out in the left wing, and Brian, maybe these are names that you should be pronouncing as your Dutch language expert.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So a lot of people, as we said, have been hugely impressed with them, and obviously Lois Abbing is. I'm not going to do all the Dutch pronunciation, Chris. People will tune out.
At least give us a good Laura van der Heijden.
Give us.
No, what's a good name to pronounce? No, Nikki Groot was always the best one. That's a real Dutch one.
Who is in the extended squad for the Netherlands? She is in the.
Oh my! That is. I must have missed that name.
Maybe it wasn't in the final squad, but there was the
extended squad.
Extended
Yes,
squad.
the extended squad.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she can be
There's a good question here.
To it at some stage.
There's a question here, lads, from Women's Handball on the chat. Saying sorry for so many questions. No, don't be sorry. Please continue writing questions. This is great. You're fantastic. What do you think about Pullman's return? Will she have the same influence as when they won the world title? Especially now that they're missing 3 stars, the stars we mentioned before. Estevana Pullman is an interesting one coming back into the team. She was part of the team in the last championship, but only played a few minutes here and there. Then she had the fallout with Team Esbjerg and left the club. She, in the meantime, has found a new club. She's in Nykøbing in Denmark still. A player who could be hitting her prime. She's just 30 years old. She's had her injury problems, but just a really exciting player when she's on form. And it would be nice to see her in full flow again.
It does feel like it's been a while since we've seen her play like that for the Netherlands. And if she does reach those heights again, well, there you have your gold medalist. Congratulations, Netherlands.
But I think she's going to have a chip on her shoulder. I think her situation in Team Esbjerg really wasn't a. I think she'll want to prove something coming out of that. She was kind of cast aside and painted as a villain in that whole situation. So I feel like she's the type of player who's going to have a chip on her shoulder going into this tournament and wanting to prove again that she is worth everything. Worth everything.
Worth every penny. They didn't pay any money for it.
Worth every penny. Worth every penny that Team Esbjerg paid for and then cast her aside for. So I think that's where it's going.
It is a really nice squad overall, and it feels like they've got a full squad as well. They're not going to rely on the first 7 or 8 players, which is a big thing for them. Do we hop into the predictions? I'm mostly keen to see here how much everyone thinks North Macedonia is going to get their backsides kicked by in this.
Before we do this, I will just mention a few things. Enter our competition for this show. So do all of the fun Twitch things. Enter. There's a jersey, there's a shirt for any team on the line. That's a prize that I want to win. I'm going to start entering. Make sure that there's a ball on the line just this evening. There's really good chances of winning that. And of course, join our league on the Home of Handball app. Join the Match Predictor game. Put in your scores along with us. So you look at these scores and see that I have France beating Macedonia by 12 goals in the first game. So put in your own score and see if you agree with that.
Surely you can't win the prizes though, Alex. That would be very corrupt, wouldn't it? I think that's not going to happen.
I want to win them, at least.
Oh, no, we all want to win them, but I don't know. I think it's conflict of interest there, but is it?
All the more reason why people should join. Don't let Alex win.
Yes, exactly.
Message from today. Also for the prediction game.
Wait a second, Chris. Did you have 2 more bonus balls here again? How many bonus balls?
You have 5 in total.
You had 2 in the first one. You had 1 in Group.
Yeah.
You didn't put any in Group D. Is that what you did?
I didn't put any in Group B. I put 2 here, and I put 1 in Group D. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just thinking the 2 worst teams in the competition.
Exactly,
really
clever tactic. Very, very.
I hope so.
Very safe tactic. If you might want to put a bonus ball on a shock result, but that's what Brian did last year. It didn't really work out for him.
Yeah, I mean, probably one of the bigger shocks in this group here with Romania beating the Netherlands, and I think I've changed my mind since then. So I may need to shift that around a bit. But who knows? Early doors, first game of the tournament. Netherlands coming in feeling cocky after having beaten Norway. Maybe Christina Niago has some different ideas.
I can totally see it happen. I mean, Netherlands, when they're at their most successful, they tend to lose a few dodgy games on the way. When they won the World Championship in 2019, I think they lost to Slovenia in the group phase, and this could be a similar situation here. Anywhere else we disagree? Though in the predictions, the final game there, France versus Netherlands.
Oh yeah, actually the 2 final games I've gone for a couple of wild cards there. The weirdest tournament for North Macedonia I've predicted, where they're going to get destroyed by France, going to get absolutely ransacked by Netherlands, and then come out and win a game to get into the main round against Romania. So I've picked something a bit wild there. But all of us have that game quite close.
Yeah, it'll be close. It'll be really close.
Chris, you've gone for a very, very low score and tie there for that France-Netherlands game as well.
It'll be an absolute for the France-Netherlands one. Yeah. I mean, that's how France win games like that. It's not by scoring 32 goals. It's by conceding 22 goals.
Yes.
So I think we have our 4th and final guest of the evening ready. If I heard Clemens correctly, maybe you can give me a double confirmation there quickly. And in the meantime, we're going to do a quick intro for Group D. That's going to be in lovely Podgorica. I tell you, lads, when we spoke to the Montenegrin duo a couple of weeks ago on our first preview podcast, just hearing Georgina and Jovanka talk about the atmosphere made me wish I was there. I'm going to be in lovely Celia instead. It's going to be fine. There'll be some nice Lashko on tap for me. But Group D in Podgorica, we have Poland in there, and they're hoping to make the main round for the first time since 2014. Even though they've had some success in the world stage about 7-8 years ago in the Euro, they've always struggled. Montenegro champions 10 years ago and co-hosts here in Podgorica. Germany looking for a bright new chapter under their new coach, Marcus Gaugisch. And we have Spain, the 2019 world finalists. They were hosts of the World Championship last year as well, finished in 4th place there. And that leads us nicely to our final guest, Brian.
Yes, our final guest is a player, a right back who has over 100 caps for Spain. She's won a World Championship. She's won the EHF Champions League with Gera back in 2018. It is Mireya Gonzalez. There she is. Hello.
Hey, Mireya.
Hi. Hello. How are you?
Good. I'll answer for everyone. We're all good.
We're great. Thanks, Mireya.
We're all great. Happy to have you here. How are you doing? How's your injury at the moment?
Oh, actually, I'm pretty good. I could start with the team just before we stop for the championship. So I had my first match with my team. Now I'm training normal with girls. I'm so happy to be back on the field.
Nice.
That's good. So we'll take
It's
maybe
a great feeling coming back from an injury.
Yeah.
We're here now to talk a little bit about the Euro with you. You've obviously, of course, excellent insight into the Spanish team itself. Maybe we look a bit at the group with Poland, Montenegro, and Germany. What do you make of the constellation of this group? Do you fancy Spain's chances to finish top, or where would you place them?
I will say yes. Honestly, I think it's tough. Of course, it's a European Championship, and every time you go to European Championship, it's not any easy game. But I think we really have a chances to finish first, and this will mean a lot for the next round.
And coming up, of course, against the hosts. I'm sure you've come up against a few hosts in your years. What's it like when you see that and you're going to be coming into that kind of atmosphere? Do you need to prepare for that a bit, or is it a different game to prepare for? How is that when you come up against a crowd like they're going to witness in Montenegro?
I honestly think that Montenegro and Spain have some things in common, and I think I don't know how I would say it in English, but let's say we have a lot of blood. Like we have a lot of energy, a lot of something special inside of us that I think with this kind of atmosphere is actually giving us one extra everything. I think actually against Montenegro will be one amazing match. I think to enjoy, and I believe that Spain, as we are, we will be on the level for sure. I don't think we need to. I mean, I swear, not really extra prepared. It's actually a pleasure to play in this kind of atmosphere.
Talk to me a little bit, Mireya, about the squad you have at the moment, because it felt like at the World Championship last year, playing at home, there was maybe it was the end of an era a little bit for the team in one way. A lot of people were building up to that championship, a lot of feeling like, okay, we're gonna have a big championship at home. Now it's a year later already another major championship, as is the case, and an Olympics to build up to in less than 2 years. What do you think about the Spanish squad at the moment, how it has developed over the last few months?
I think we are quite lucky because we still get some of the important and experimented players. They're still with us. Of course, after the last Olympics, we lose some important players like our captain. I mean, we didn't lose, but of course, he's not with us anymore. And some youngs are starting to be inside. This is also very important because in 1.5 years is coming Olympics. Actually, like because of the COVID, the Olympics were moved. Now it's very very fast. Like we don't even have. If we finish Olympics, I feel like very soon is next one, and I think this is very beautiful, but also like you have shorter time to prepare the team to arrive to this point in the best condition.
It feels like with Spain, the national team always overperforms their individual players. You look at the Spanish squad, and you have a lot of players playing in Spain, not playing necessarily at Champions League level week in, week out. But when they come together, they're able to cause shocks. Why do you think that is? Is it just the Spanish style?
I think so. I think it's first of all we have a good school. We are from when we are small. They learn us a lot how to read the handball, and I think this is helping it because even if some players they are not, as you say, they are maybe playing Spanish league and any Spanish team is in the Champions League or important championships, we are able to make struggles in some other teams because it's hard to stop us. Also, I think the defense, it's very special defense. I think almost any team, I mean, I will say any national team it's playing this kind of defense. And I think it's very hard to get used to it. Like you need to be patient with the ball, to don't rush passing. Otherwise, you have wings. You have very structure for to take you in these moments.
And so, who in the team now are you close with, or who would you be friends with most, or who are you in contact with now right now? Or are you in contact with anyone from the team?
Yeah, of course. I'm always in contact with Silvia Navarro and Sandy Barbosa, and I also have a very close relationship with Maitane Echeverria, but I have been speaking now most with them too.
And would you have shared rooms with them at tournaments, or who did you normally share rooms with?
It depends on tournament. I have been a lot with Alicia Fernandez, also sometimes with Sandy, but it's mostly the national team who decide. But we really have a good relationship inside the team, so we are not worried about this. We are able to be happy living with others, like no problem.
Yeah, it always seemed to me like when I went to previous Euros that the atmosphere, also in the men's team on the Spanish side as well, that the atmosphere was unmatched in terms of other teams. It really felt like you were really, really enjoying yourselves. And once the handball was done and dinner was finished, whatever, they were always up for a laugh and a joke. And it seems to be important to relax for that team to be joking and messing around sometimes.
We really search for this. We know how stressful can be some moments, especially when things are not going bad, they're not going good, and we are really searching for these moments of cheerful, of smiling that will help us also to perform in the field because handball is all about fun, also, So if you are not having fun, you will not perform. This is so important for us.
There's a couple of players you mentioned there who I just want to ask you about. Alicia Fernandez, who seems to be coming into good form again. I remember in recent championships, she has been, or it feels like she's been waiting to really have a major international breakthrough. And she's part of let's say, the Spanish contingent in Romania as well. You have many players, including yourself there. She's part of the Rapid team. Do you feel like she's ready to kind of take over this team in the center of attack?
I'm sure she's performing in very, very good level for already long time. And if she really feel like I'm good with her body, it's impossible to stop her. And she's very important for us, especially now that Mireya Pena is also still not with the team. So yeah, I think that she will be one of the best in the team for sure.
I just want to ask about Silvia Navarro as well, because I don't understand. She's 43 years old. She's I'm intrigued to know what her secret is, and what keeps her. I guess I mean there needs to be a certain kind of motivation as well that goes with her. Something that's really special about her because she's remarkable.
It's crazy. Like, if you ask me about Silvia Navarro, I have chicken skin now just thinking about her. It's amazing. Her performance over the years, like every time Spain win a medal, it's always half of the medal we can give to her. It has been always amazing. And as you say, like 43 years, I never see her in the physio room. Like, it's crazy, this woman. I swear. And she's such a good captain, such a beautiful heart. It's. I swear. Like, if you ask me one player, for me, it's having remarkable her career. I will say her for sure.
We had a nice question in there on the chat. Oh, now I've lost it. Let me see if I can find it.
But it was a question from women's handball again, asking about the World Championship of 2019, where Spain played Montenegro and basically got that last minute winner from Barbosa to get the medal. And the question was, what were your memories from that game?
Oh my God, it's just crazy. And actually, the championship itself, it was crazy. But against Montenegro, as I told you before, like against Montenegro, it's always a special match because so much energy inside. Like, we are really screaming all the time, one team, the other. We are kicking each other. We really give every time. That's why I'm so excited about this championship against Montenegro in Montenegro. And especially, of course, this last moment that we win and that we see ourselves already very close to the medal fight. It was really like amazing.
Really,
so that's definitely a game I'll be watching. Spain Montenegro in the preliminary round. That's going to be straight up a highlight for me. Is there any other teams or any other games in the group stage that you're looking forward to?
Oh, honestly, Germany, I'm very looking forward. I know they change. I mean, I have one of my teammates is from Germany, and I really like her. It's very nice to play with her, and I know they changed the coach recently. Now it's the Game coach, and I see how they are doing in Champions League, like crazy good. And very looking forward how they will do this championship. I think it will be also a team in hard for sure to beat. This is my feeling.
There was also another question there. Well, that's not really a question. It was more talking about Silvia Navarro, saying goalkeepers are like fine wine. The oldest is the greatest, which I think fits with Navarro.
There's a few players we can mention there that fit.
And goalkeepers are always like can change a game like completely. Like I always say to my president, if I have to choose, first thing I will take is a good goalkeeper. That's for sure.
Goalkeepers win championships. I think we all agree on that.
So this is a prediction show, as you might have seen, and all of our guests today, we've given them the unfortunate task of making some predictions themselves, and you are going to be no different. So we're going to ask you to give your predictions now as well. We're going to need from you who's going to win the bronze, silver, and gold medal, and then later on we'll ask you about who do you think who will be the MVP of this Euro.
Okay.
Don't worry, we won't tell anyone, so you can be honest.
Okay. First, you need to know I'm with my heart always, and every time they ask me what are my expectations, is to win championships. So this you need to know. Sure. Spain will be first for me.
Okay.
Good.
So now I need to choose second and third.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will say. I will say second will be Norway. And third, I will put it there. If it's like this, with Spain, I will put Spain, Norway, and Serbia.
Serbia.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
All
a new
right.
one. You might have friends in the Serbian
Uh,
team, huh? Wink, wink.
Oh yes, I do have, and I know they have now such a good feeling for this championship, and I feel a lot of champions they start so good they just couldn't handle the second part. So if they could handle the second part, they could be really like win a medal. So and they are close home, so
Yeah. Should have a good crowd following them.
Okay.
There'll be some
Yeah.
story.
Yes.
So then, what about your MVP now? Who do you think is going to be?
yeah.
Who's going
But
to pick up the MVP trophy?
then I would say if Spain is first, then it will be Silvia Navarro MVP, of course.
There you go.
Wow, nice.
Beautiful.
You're the only one of our guests who hasn't gone for Henny Reistad. So you are unique. So good for you.
always. I don't like to go in the same direction.
It's good. Against the grain. Well, thank you very much for talking to us. It's been a pleasure. We hope you enjoyed
Thanks
yourself.
to you. Yeah, a
Yeah,
lot.
and enjoy the championship.
Yes,
Bye.
we will for sure.
Finally, someone who didn't go for Henny Reistad. That's nice. Thank you, Mireya Gonzalez. After hearing that, as Alex said, I'm really looking forward to Montenegro against Spain. I can't remember what I predicted for that one, so we're gonna find out very soon. But we talk about Montenegro first. I think Clemens wants us to talk about Montenegro. Brian,
We can talk
you and I spoke
about Montenegro, but also, yeah, sorry, I was going to say the exact same thing. If you're interested to hearing a bit more about Montenegro, make sure to listen to our first EHF Euro Uninformed Handball, our preview podcast, where we spoke to Jovanka Radicevic and Jaukovic as well, giving us their impressions of the tournament. And it's going to be an exciting one for this Montenegrin team.
Brian,
Just wanted to plug the podcast.
Yeah, good job. I know that because also you forgot that yesterday when you were live. You forgot we did that one.
Oh yeah, that's the one I forgot. I looked it up today. And I wanted to
make extra sure that you know what work we did. Very good. Brian, now that we've had a couple of weeks since we spoke to Jovanka and Georgina, and the emotion has maybe subsided a little bit. How do you feel about this team?
And I'm still buzzing from it, if I'm completely honest. Because and maybe that's to do with the fact that the following week I went to Krim, and it was a game, and Jovanka Radicevic won. It was their they've been waiting a long time for a win in the Champions League, and they got their win. But it was also a game in which Jovanka Radicevic was on the verge of breaking the all-time Champions League top scorer list, or she was about to take over Anita Gerbitz, but fell a few goals short. And so she is one of the most consistent wingers in world handball, and it's going to be no different at this tournament. And from talking to her on the last podcast, we know exactly what's going to take place when the tournament rolls around. Full halls, big atmosphere, and the girls are really going to be up for it. And I think we could see huge tournament from Jaukovic. She's shown us some really big performances in the Champions League this season. I think for me, most notably, was a huge game in FTC where she just ran the show. And I think she's due a really, really massive tournament, and I think she could do it this time out.
I'll tell you what I really like about this group, and it's always in a group with Spain. But I think there's three teams here that all fit that bill in Germany, Spain, and Montenegro. It's three teams that can literally beat anyone else in the group, but also could lose against everyone else in the group. So it wouldn't actually be the biggest surprise in the world if Poland win this group. They should probably finish last, but you really never know in this group with these teams. Germany, they, as Mireya mentioned, and we mentioned before, have a new coach in Markus Gaugisch, who's also the Bietigheim coach, and they've been flying this season. So really excited to see what he's going to do with this national team. Apparently, he's delivered a bit more of a direct approach in the attack, which I think suits the likes of Emily Bulk and Alina Greisels. But I mean, it's been a turbulent time in German women's handball over the last couple of months. Also with the change of coach as well, it's really hard to know what to expect from them. They have a lot of talent. They also have a lot of expectation every time, and hard to know what will come out of this team. Do you have any feelings one way or the other, Brian or Alex?
I like Germany this time round. It seems like they are building something. Their new style seems to be working, and they've really tested themselves in the kind of pre-tournament matches. They've come up against France, who they lost twice to, but they were close games. So definitely nothing to worry about there. They've also beaten Hungary, my hot favourites for this tournament. So that's got to say something. And
clearly
and then
beating
drew with
Louis
Romania.
as well.
So I think that they have a bit of form, and it's a group where there's no one team that stands out, as he said. I think it's let's say the only group out of the four where there's just no single favourite. So there's a great chance that Germany can actually go ahead with full points out of this group.
I think Poland minus Karolina Kudlas-Glotz, I think, are a bit of a different side. I mean, she is their absolute motor, so I think that's a huge loss for them. So that's a tough loss. And of course, everyone knows Kinga Krug from years ago when she played in Budapest. And we only now really see her playing for the national team. We're not blessed with her performances in the Champions League anymore. But still
That's
decent
a nice
team.
homecoming. Going back to Podgorica.
Yes.
So maybe inspire something there. I think Poland will lose all 3 games, but by no more than 3 goals. They're going to push everyone. That's a nicer prediction than the ones that you made about Croatia 2 years ago. So I think I'm pretty safe.
We're just saving ourselves.
Was it nicer?
We're so afraid about being clipped.
Spain.
Wasn't that lovely what she said about Silvia Navarro? That was quite a beautiful quote there. How she said she was never on the physio table and just the absolute heart and soul of the team. So that was she really sounds like she's a really inspirational character for that Spanish team. But as you said, Alex,
I just imagine Silvia Navarro to be a really incredible captain, because you can tell she's very warm, and she's going to be kind of, be the heart of the team, as you said. But I think she probably has a stare that would completely pierce you if you are being lazy at training or not having the right attitude during the tournament or match. And it's this duality of her, I think, this extremely lovely and warm and piercing face. So I think that's a great captain in my books.
She has it in her locker to say to the likes of Lisa Chapchet and to Paula Arcos, I've been playing international handball longer than you've been alive, so get your ass in gear. There's really no excuse for some of these players when you have someone like that standing behind you in goal. It's phenomenal.
And Clayman's in the chat here. I'm 28 and have troubles getting out of bed in the morning. How is she still at this level of 43? Yeah. Not only get out of bed, a few other things as well, I'd say. But anyways, shall we move on to the predictions? Radio silence there. But anyways, okay. Not all jokes lands. We'll move on.
I was just waiting. I was just waiting for something dire to happen to your picture, Brian.
Yeah, a black square to cover up my face suddenly.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Alex, again, no bonus balls. Where do we have it here?
That's how confident. That's how confident I am.
So, Chris, you've gone for another draw, which is disastrous, really, in terms of strategy. But anyways, you think Montenegro, Spain? It's probably a good shout, in fairness.
I mean, it's going to be a draw. I mean, did you hear Mireya? It's going to be a draw, 24-24.
Yeah. I went for Montenegro to win by 1, actually. I don't know why I put it so high scoring. It's never going to be the high scoring. But anyways, I think it's probably more likely to be Alex's result. +1. Still from Montenegro, possibly, but they're not going to be scoring 30 goals.
both of you going for Montenegro victories over Spain there, which is interesting. I think home advantage just would give them the edge there.
I've gone for a disastrous tournament for Spain. Apparently, again, this is one of those where you look at individual results and you're like, oh yeah, that could happen. Oh yeah, that's going to be a close game. I think I'll tilt this way. Then you put it all together and have Spain going out in the first round.
You have Spain going out in the first round, 3 losses out of 3. But that is what I said that at the start. It's a group where you have teams that could win all 3 matches, but could just as easily lose all 3 matches. You have also, Alex, 28-28 between Poland and Germany in the first round, which is interesting.
I have high hopes for this Poland team. I'm not sure why, to be honest. But I've been. I think they've impressed in previous tournaments that haven't been able to kind of get those results. I think that's roughly where they are. They're just taking another level for me at this tournament. So.
What I love there is Chris's bonus ball. It's Spain, Poland.
And your bonus ball.
33. But yours is 33-32, so really, really close game. So you're really sure it's going to be a very narrow win.
Yeah, like I said, Poland are going to push everyone hard. I love that we both went for bonus ball victories for Spain over Poland, and Alex has gone for a Poland victory. Yeah.
No,
anywhere else where we disagree?
In the last World Championship, Poland did beat both Slovenia and Montenegro. So, they've got some results in them.
Brian, you've gone for a draw between Germany and Montenegro.
That's the only draw I put down for the whole competition. And I'd fancy, I think just the defense that Montenegro were going to put up that day, I think Germany will struggle against it. But at the same, I think Montenegro will maybe struggle with some of Germany's speed. So I think it'll kind of cancel each other out. So I've gone for the only draw of my whole prediction game.
It's a good mix, this group, between the results that we've given, and I think that really does show just how open it is. And probably the actual result will be somewhere in between all of them, and none of us will be right. 6 draws, perhaps. Maybe just a bunch of draws throughout the whole group. Then what happens?
Could be.
Flip a bunch of coins. Yeah. Okay. There's all of our predictions for the preliminary round. And hopefully that's given you enough inspiration or warning to make your own predictions before the group starts on Friday. Some predictions that aren't on the app, where you can see in the bottom left-hand side of your screen. If you scan that QR code now, you can get in and join the group with us. Otherwise, I believe on the chat there's also a link for those of you who are on the phone watching. Good news, lads. I just got my negative COVID test, so I'm allowed to go to the Euro tomorrow. Good times.
Hey.
That is good. The EHF still being nice and careful with COVID testing before the championship, making sure that us mere mortals will not bring in any COVID and infect the players. And we're almost finished, so there's maybe one last chance to enter the giveaway, unless Clemens has given out the prize already. I don't think he has. So we have a signed match ball, signed by a team of your choice, and a signed jersey, the jersey from a team of your choice as well. Only a few entrants in there. Some of you being lazy, watching at home, feeling, maybe there's not a good chance of me winning here. But if you look at the bottom left-hand corner, a lot more of you have entered the league than have entered Prediction League than have entered this giveaway. So giveaway is a good chance to win a prize. So we'll give you that's it, Rados. It's just joined. And Billy Vitez saying, no, not lazy here. I think there's a good chance we could have our winner from those 2 commenters. Billy's already won a ball last time. Okay, so I'm just getting voices in my head here from Clemens, which I'm responding to. So yeah, last chance to enter that one. And in the meantime, we have some big predictions to make. We have asked all of our guests to make these predictions. So I think it's only fair that we do the same. Now, Brian, there are 3 medals available Tell us why all 16 teams have a chance of winning them.
Okay, let's start with Switzerland. Switzerland. They've never been here before. No, bronze medal. I'm going to go for Denmark. Silver. I'm going to go for Norway. Gold, France.
Ooh. Okay.
MVP. Cleopatra Darlow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Firm favourite of yours. I also had a couple of other categories there we didn't ask other people. If you have it on your mind, top scorer and best young player. Think about it. We'll move on.
I'll think about that. You do yours first, and I'll think about that. So, Chris, your top three.
I can get my top three. My top four is exactly the same as Siraba Dembele Pavlovic's.
What's your top six?
The top six. So, bronze medal to Denmark, silver medal Netherlands, gold medal Norway. MVP Henny Rijstad, top scorer Anna Gross or Natalie Hagman. I'm going to go for Anna Gross. Best young player, still only 21, Pauletta Foppa. Feels a little bit like cheating.
I'll pick Henny Rijstad as my best young player. MVP, top scorer. Norway
That's
to win.
Even more cheating. Norway to win.
It is Norway to win. Beating Denmark in the final, who are going to make another incremental step. In bronze, see, I talked about Hungary and the surprise because I think Hungary will make a semi-final, but I haven't decided if they're going to win a medal because Hungary making a semi-final is going to be, is that enough of a shock for you lads, or do you want me to commit?
I've bad news for you, Alex. Norway,
Anything
Hungary,
can happen.
and Denmark. Norway, Hungary, and Denmark can't all make the semi-finals. So only two of them will.
Come back to me, Brian. What's your best young player?
Unfortunately, the format of the Euro is against you here. The draw was not favourable.
Yeah, come back to me, Brian. You give me your young player.
I can't think of a young player. I'll go with the younger Dembele from France as the young player of the tournament, Audrey Dembele. And then I'll say that top scorer will be Henny Rijstad, of course. Yes.
Okay. MVP? You gave.
I said Cleopatra
Darlow. Yeah. Okay.
They won't give it to both. So Henny Rijstad will get top scorer, and then Darlow will get the MVP. We've all night, Alex. Don't worry. We can
I've committed too much to Hungary, but
this is great.
Norway, Hungary, and France are my top three.
Norway, Hungary, France.
So much to Hungary.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. They're going to cause some heartbreak for Denmark.
Yeah, I think so. Okay. Yeah, I think France are pretty clear in that second half of the draw. I really think they're gonna, but yeah, my MVP is still going to be Henny Rijstad,
and top scorer,
and top scorer.
Never happens, but anyway,
and best young player.
And best young player. Norm Work to be top scorer. Why not? That's
okay. All right.
She takes the penalties.
True.
Good stuff. Have we given away some prizes yet, Clemens? We haven't yet. Clemens, it's time to give away the prizes, the signed match ball and the signed jersey. And
winner.
It is Bill Vitez, 1950, gets the signed shirt. from a team of your choice. And maybe you can comment and say who the team of your choice is already.
Which team would you take, lads?
To you, Bill.
Which jersey would you want? I think I'd like the Dutch one.
Dutch is a nice one. He's in Australia. Good luck to you, Clement, sending that one to Australia. And congratulations, Bill. The Norway jerseys, I think, are the best.
I've always wanted a Norwegian jersey. Oh, they're so cool.
Bill wants Croatia. That's good as well. And now for the ball.
Jimmy. We can't really see that.
Jimmy has one.
Jimmy.
Yes. Jimmy's got a signed match ball, signed by a team of your choice. So the ball will be the same regardless. Just be signed by a bunch of players from a team of your choice. Congratulations.
Hey, there he is.
Jimmy. Good stuff good game for all the winners. Thank you all for watching, all of you who watched all the way. And even thank you even more to those of you in the future who'll have listened to all of it without the without the visual accompaniment of us. It's been great. A lot of fun getting the predictions from all of us, from you as well at home, and some actual expert opinions as well from Camilla Herrem, Mikaela Mässing, Mireya Gonzalez, and Siraba Dembele Pavlovic. Any final words, Brian or Alex, before we make our way to the Euro tomorrow?
No, at this stage, I'm just looking forward to the handball getting started and hoping for a good atmosphere in Skopje.
We'll have podcasts every couple of days. Alex will be live a lot here on the Twitch, won't you, Alex? When is your first actual EHF Euro 2022 Championship live stream here on the Home of Handball Twitch channel?
That's a really good question, Chris. But it will be on the first day of the championship, the 4th of November. We'll be back here for a show which will happen before the first game. There'll be watch along for the games. In between the games, there'll be another show and a watch along for the evening game. So a lot of great stuff to look forward to throughout the term. We'll be on pretty much every second day. We'll have a podcast coming to you every second day throughout the championship as well. So if you don't follow us already, do follow us at Uninformed Handball Hour. You can just search for Handball Hour on your favorite podcast platform, whether that's Spotify, Apple, anywhere else you want, and follow us on Twitter, again, at Handball Hour, and Instagram. So lots of content coming your way through all of that, and I'm sure the handball is going to be just as good as the content that we're going to be putting together.
Big promise. So, from us, just a couple of days before the most predictable EHF Euro of all time. Good night, and see you all on Friday.